been quite a delay since the end of Marble League 2022, but it's finally time to bring you that end recap. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wolf.
And I'm having a new mic. I have a new mic, if you see on the Chrome. I wonder if it shows up in the stream. Does it show in the stream? Not in the Chrome, the stream. If you're watching on YouTube, yes, you can see it right there. Look at it. It's in camera view. I'm so excited about it. This is the Shure SM7B. I got it for Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody, by the way, if you celebrate. If you don't, still Merry Christmas, but that just won't mean as much to you, I guess. But I got this mic. I'm so excited about it. So I'm hoping the audio qualities shoot up in this recording. I mean, that's really all I can say about it from your end. Yeah. So that's what I hope for. But this was a lot, but it was totally worth it. It's clearly sounds better. Everybody that I've talked to so far, like I joined calls in Discord and they're like, "Oh, dude, you sound so different, dude. That's cool." And I was like, "I'd better for $350 sound different, my boys." But no, I'm very excited about it. Christmas season was really good. Although, also, mswpodcast@gmail.com is, you can email there. So do that. Email the show. You can talk about anything. This the segue I came up with for that.
I see.
Waff talk.
Man, it's pretty rough here. Jeez. Okay. Well, hi. Merry happy holidays.
Wow, Waff, you're no better than me today, man.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay, I'm sorry.
For a week.
Happy holidays. Hope it's been great for you. Mine was also pretty good. I got to spend some time with the family. We went to Disney World. Went to all the parks. I have a newfound appreciation for Animal Kingdom.
Went to Disney? You didn't tell me. Wait, what? You were like an hour from me, and you weren't like, "Hey, Marble guy, come say hi."
Because I was at Disney World all day. There was no time.
You could have just been like, "Hey, Marble, come down and say hi for a minute." I would have driven an hour.
To Disney World.
Disney World's an hour from me. Come on, Wop.
Well, I didn't think about it, all right? I thought you were down in Jersey or something.
Dude, I live here. What?
I don't know. Whatever.
I'm mad at what? I'm mad at what?
We were hanging out all day, and then we're tired when we get home, or back to our apartment or hotel thing. So it's like, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just going to bed.
Oh, you could have been like, hey, come over to the hotel thing for an hour, and we could have went to the bowling alley that you own. It would have been fun.
No, we couldn't, because that's in Texas, and I don't know it.
You just admitted that you had a bowling alley for a second.
And then you did not hear the second part.
No, I heard it, but we could cut it so we don't have that part.
Well, guess what? Casey's not going to do that, so too bad. Anyways, yeah, had fun there. Have a newfound appreciation for Animal Kingdom.
You're going to do that, Kaysen.
No.
Well, I was just trying to get through it. Just go.
Avatar ride was cool, like the new one. Like
I remember that ride. I love that ride.
Like feeling like the animal breathe against you. That was so immersive. 3D was a bit double imagey to me, so maybe like they could improve that, or like maybe just, like, put the screen. I don't know what they could like. I don't even know if 3D was necessary for that experience, but whatever. And then Rise of Resistance. That was the most amazing thing ever. My word. Like, just, like, and I can't spoil that for anybody who has not done it, because, like, it's a truly magical experience, but, like, if you know, like, you go in, and then, like, one door closes, and you expect, okay, this door's gonna open, then the other door opens, it's like, wait, hold on a second, what? And then you walk out, and then you see everything, and it's like, oh my gosh, that is the most magical experience I've ever had at Disney World. Easily.
Dude, I'm so happy for you, man. I remember the Avatar ride. I loved it. I loved, like, sitting on I know you were, like, on an animal's back or something, but it felt like it was like in the bike riding position, right? And it was just, it was so fun. Like, and it lasts 5 minutes or something like that. It's a long ride, and so it really feels like you're immersed for a while. And it and the way they kind of perched you up and leaned you forward, you really felt you were kind of riding something. It was honestly, that was really fun. I remember that ride. I just love about Disney how accurate and just full in, how committed they are to theming every little thing. And that's what makes, like, I feel even something, even Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, like all the kingdoms, but especially Animal and Magic, so immersive because they theme everything. They theme every single part, like the little road you're walking on, the little, like even the things where they have like the little speakers and the garbage cans are all themed in some way to the universe you're in, and everything just feels like it. And they commit so well to that it's just like, it blows me away every time. I mean, I'm most excited, of course, for the coming Universal Super Nintendo world, but I don't know. I always loved Disney. But now I'm an hour from
that's
it.
a Universal. I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, I'm really just kind of related. I'm so excited for that too because big Nintendo guy. So that's gonna come. I just want when that comes out, I'm gonna go. When I go to the park, of course, I'm just gonna like walk around the park and listen for different musical references to the Mario world. I swear to God, me and my friend are just gonna walk around and do that for hours. I just want to hear all the little references they remember to put in from all the games and stuff. But I don't know. Apparently, it's going to be the biggest one too, like the biggest park of like they've built 2 other Super Nintendo worlds, but this one's going to be like a little bit bigger, a little bit more expansive. So more gift shops. I don't know. So that's fun. Marble Sports, guys. So we're going to talk about that. Quite a Marble League. I think we have to do the news first, but when we come back, a lot of Marble League because we got to wrap this up. Honestly, it didn't end like I expected it. It really didn't. I don't even know what to really say about this one. We're just going to have to dive in. So without further ado, we're going to get into the news right now. Let's go to the news.
Hello, Marble Sports fans! I'm Commander Wolf here with the Marble Sports Worldwide News. I hope you enjoyed your holiday. I know I sure did. And now it's time to catch up on some marbles. Marble League 2022 Showdown has finally concluded, and the last 4 events were block pushing, funnel endurance, climbing, and sand rally. After these intense competitions, Team Momo, in a very surprising recovery, came in 3rd, followed by the Blackjacks in 2nd, and Team Plasma in 1st. But on the other end of the spectrum, we have the 4 relegation teams, which are the Oceanics, the Solar Flares, the Cobalts, and the Hazers. It's one thing to see the Cobalts, the 2-time reigning Showdown champions, in the bottom, but to see the Hazers, a top team down there, is just very sad to see. Many suspect that Casey leaving caused the team to collapse, so perhaps things will improve if and when they return. And now, for the main event, we have the finale of Marble League 2022 Elimination Race. This exciting competition had marbles eliminated with each run, and by the end, the Pinkies came in 3rd, followed by the Raspberry Racers in 2nd, and the Green Ducks in 1st. And with that 3rd place finish, you can probably already predict that yes, the Pinkies are your Marble League 2022 champions. But not to be forgotten are the Shining Swarm with a silver, and Team Galactic with a bronze. This year was truly incredible, and to see a team like the Pinkies improve so much over the years, it's just so wild. Who knows what we'll see next year, especially with the Bumblebees being the next hosts. And now for some non-JMR news. First up, we have the Adventure Marble League Fall Series Paper Race Challenger level, which ended with Mango Shake in 1st, Swamp Thing in 2nd, and Irish Warrior in 3rd. Next, we have Marble Cup 2022 Event 9 Balancing. This ended with Neon Lights in 1st, Grass Creatures in 2nd, and Chocolate Milks in 3rd. Then we have JBL Cup Season 2 Event 17 Javelin Throw, with Sneakers from Sugar Crash in 1st, Kappa from the Whitecaps in 2nd, and Zoom from the Zooming Zebras in 3rd. And finally, we have the Marble Sports Games Season 5 B-League Event 3 Team Pursuit. This competition ended with the Moonlight Titans in 1st, the Aquatics in 2nd, and the Red Roulettes in 3rd. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening. I'm Commander Wolf. You are the best fans in the world. Let's kick it on back with a podcast.
Thank you, Waf, for the news. let's get into the episode. Just jump right in. We got emails first, mswpodcast@gmail.com. You can email us, and then we'll read your email. Tell us about how your fantasy did. We're going to tell you about our fantasy soon, but we're going to do emails first, then fantasy, and then we're just going to kind of recap the whole thing, try to get you guys out of here. And, well, I don't know. We say a few minutes, and it ends up being... live chat goes 10 out of 10 news. I know, right? I haven't seen this guy before, so maybe he has, maybe he doesn't know that's a added in post kind of thing.
No, he does. Like, they're making a joke. Brendan.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in the chat before. Maybe he's
they've been. What do you mean they've been here for a lot? Brendan, they've been here live for a long time. They've listened to.
Apple,
oh my gosh.
XL.
Well, I don't recognize Apple, but I know Richard's been here a while.
Well, he didn't say 10 out of 10 news. He just says that was great news.
Brendan, come on. Just take the joke and let's go.
I didn't know. Gosh. I don't know. Son, maybe he's sitting there just like thinking, like trying to hear. I don't know. Maybe whatever. Let's read the email. Okay. Adu GJ. Okay, Adu. Waff might have touched on this email in the last thing we did where we kind of both reacted. So, but I didn't. So let's read it. This is back at the aquathlon, my boys. I'm sorry. We really the high stakes in teamwork. Isn't this outdated at this point? I think this will be good though, because this will help us kind of get into reminding ourselves of how the end happened. So this is before the last event. Adu writes this, okay? He says, it's the final quarter of this year's ML season. The hunt for prestige and the championship heats up in the heats of the aquathlon. An event that was pivotal in 2020 is back and created new storylines to follow as the climax approaches. The track is longer overall with more water and surprisingly long M1 section on land. This new course made the strategic game even more important for the event, as no lane separation was added. But moving on, here are some words about the top teams and impactful performances. The O'Rangers were the best team out there, a well-deserved win from a team that wanted to leave the Oceanics upset in the past and claim a bid for the title. Speed and strength were nicely aligned to achieve a top performance, surging ahead while minimizing the space for opponents to play with. Shining Swarm. And I remember Shining Swarm because I made a point about them. I actually did a quick analysis back, what was this, Aquathlon, to talk about their formations, and it was consistent. It wasn't just one time. Their triangle formation they took against the Savage Speeders to beat them, and how amazing that was, because how well they set up 3 of their marbles to be fast instead of just 1 or 2. And the Speeders had a very spread out formation, so they weren't working together very well. So Shining Swarm was really a standout for me in that event too. But he says, Shining Swarm upset of the day. Their transitions into the water weren't top-notch, but in 2 of the 3 races they won, the team expertly dashed into a wide-open left side to overtake Mellow Yellow. Savage Speeders, yes, they beat one of the fastest and most complete teams in the league by going for a gap and overtaking at the line. It was really the formation they took together that sped up all of them. They worked off of each other very well. 3, the Speeders were fast as usual, but also guiding themselves by the needs of each heat. Right in the first round, a battle of the Titans, a direct clash for overall podium, and they were still somewhat comfortable taking down the Raspberry Racers. I hate when the Savage Speeders and the Raspberry Racers versed in this Marble League, because those were my ×2 and ×3. So I'm like, who do I want to win? Later put a wide margin in a third-place match. Strategy was smart, but not perfect, whatnot. Midnight Whiffs, in a desperate need to climb out of the bottom, swapped their winning tactical approach from the previous opportunity for an all-in racing style. Maximum attack, maximum speed. They registered the fastest overall time. Really? 12.05. Team Galactic, over title contenders Team Galactic. But in this commitment, paid a high price later on as they were outsped by the Orange Squad. Honorable mentions, Chocolatiers. I don't care about them anymore. They were a disappointment this year. And something about the Pinkies. Okay. Thanks for that, Adu. I mean, there's not much for me to say about that besides just remembering the Shining Swarm, because we are well past that, but I appreciate the email. MSWpodcast@gmail.com. You can send in an email there, and we'll talk about it. All right, Richard Hinckley, on Christmas, or before, this is December 13th right now, so still way back.
30th, this is 30.
No, he sent this email on the 13th.
One?
This was the Christmas email.
Right,
You covered this in yours. I forgot to.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
He says, what is your favorite Christmas song and Christmas movie or TV special? My is I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas and the Elf Story. My boys, listen, I do not like I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. I do not like that song at all. I do like the Elf Story. It's cool. But I do not like that song. But to each their own. I would say my favorite Christmas song, Christmas music it's kind of annoying at this point, but I like jazz Christmas. I like what the jazz covers of Christmas songs because I'm a big jazz guy, and I think those songs I just think they're nice, and I like when they do the normal Christmas song, but then they go off on their little solo, whatever, some sax solo or something. It's just nice. I like that kind of music now. Like the normal Christmas songs they're okay. I like some of like the more traditional ones like Oh Holy Night and stuff, but yeah, like ones I don't like Last Christmas. I hate that song. Or All I Want for Christmas Is You. I'd rather never hear that again. I'd really hate that song. All I Want for Christmas Is Silence. My boys. Okay.
So fitting then that I did a cover of that like last year.
Hate that song. I hate it. But when you did it
2 years ago.
It's different when you do it, man. It's different because you're just marble. Okay?
Just marble.
I don't like Santa Baby that much, but that one's okay. It's better than the other two. I don't like the So This Is Christmas or whatever the hell that song is.
This is Christmas.
Shut up, Waff. That song is just I can't with those songs. And then there's just the ones you've heard too much. But Hippopotamus for Christmas, I just like they always have like some kids singing it, and I just think it's like just a little bit too annoying, but it's at least better than those other songs I mentioned. So at the very least, you get that. Thanks for writing in, Richard. I don't know if you already answered this, Waff, but if you want to rehash your answers, you're welcome to.
Like I think I just said, "Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays" by NSYNC. That's one of my favorites. And then, I think for special, I did mention Prep and Landing, which is definitely still up there. I also really like Arthur Christmas. I remember like that's a fun movie. There were a lot. I also like A Christmas Story. Like, was it A Christmas Story? That's the CGI one that Disney did I think almost half a decade ago or something. Even more actually. It's probably even older than that. So those are fun ones.
I remember
like
those. I always like the Christmas Carol. The different versions of that are good.
Or
Polar
Christmas
Express
Carol.
is
That's
good.
what's called, right? Not Story. Christmas Carol.
Elf is good too. There's some good Christmas movies. I tend to have a softer spot for Christmas movies that are on repeat than Christmas songs. But yeah. Richard's next email, all-time Marble League team rankings. He said, try to guess the top 3 teams before you look at the rankings. And then unfortunately the rankings are right under that, so I couldn't help but see it as I opened the email. So I guess the only way around that is I can't hear you very well, Waff.
Right. I gotta turn my game back up. I was typing.
And also I was talking, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll say
yeah. Okay,
Savage
fine,
Speeders, no Rangers are the obvious two. The third one would then probably be...
Careful.
I'll say it's one of the most consistent teams. It probably I'm
gonna pull up this email because there's some really cool columns here. But yeah, keep thinking.
Galactic is consistent. Maybe Galactic.
That's incorrect, but good guess. I'm actually pulling this up because it says some really interesting information in it. So hopefully you can see on the Chrome with me if you are there. Next time you should probably just do it in the other order so that number 1's at the bottom so that I can actually guess without seeing it. But here's the deal. Very interesting thing. Savage Speeders, obviously number 1. Richard, I know you're in chat. Can you explain what the average is? Like average what? Average overall finish place? Average overall points per event? What is this average number? Explain that. Otherwise, Savage Speeders are one no matter how you slice it, because they have a ranking here. They have a ranking before ML 2021. Why before 2021? Why not before 2022? Whatever. So before 2021, they have a ranking. Then the Marble, I guess just with Marble League events, like just with Marble Leagues, no Marbula 1, and then ranking with Amazing Maze Race, which is just nonsense. So
And Christmas.
We're going to ignore that one. With Maze, no, but it says Maze. I'm assuming that means Amazing Maze Race and Christmas.
Yes, Maze Race and Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, so that's just nonsense. Next time, maybe Richard will get to an explanation for us. Okay, so I think this is interesting because look at some of the teams. So our Rangers is second, of course. Waff, you were right. Third is Green Ducks. Third is Green Ducks currently, Waff. Can you believe that?
That is honestly pretty surprising.
And here's the interesting thing. Pre-ML 2021, they were 8th. So they moved up a lot. Pre-ML 2021, Hazers were actually 3rd. And now they're on the downswing. They're probably going to hit below 10th over time here because they're now stuck. And the problem with being really stuck at the bottom of Showdown is that it's going to be at least 2 years before you can even get back into the Marble League scene and do yourself better. They're not in a good spot right now. But Green Ducks are 3rd, but we're 8th. Crazy Cat's Eyes were 4th, and we're 7th, which makes sense. I'm surprised they're not higher considering their Marbula 1 performances, but they both have made quite big jumps. When you look at pre-ML 2021, your 4th place was actually Raspberry Racers, your 5th was Mellow Yellow, and they've both dropped. Raspberry Racers a couple places, Mellow Yellow all the way down to 8th place. So really some changes here in the standings. I also want to look at Team Galactic. So Galactic was 11th pre-ML 2021, and then now they're 7th, and I'm assuming that's more per the recent performance and just the massive season they had this year. But yeah, quite interesting changes in the standings. There's 36 teams right now. Solar Flares, of course, being the absolute worst, which, well, that's really on them because it's not nobody else. So, but yeah, they're not doing very well. But they're down 36 teams. I mean, take a look at some teams that are moving themselves up. I mean, Limers, unfortunately not. But Pinkies are now 18th overall. Apparently with Christmas and Maze Race, they're 24th. Wait, how are the Pinkies lower than they were pre-ML 2021? I guess they did that bad in 2021 that winning a frickin' Marble League doesn't help them. Richard, how does that happen?
Guess.
Pre-ML 2021, Pinkies were 17 and now they're 18 after they won? I'm gonna have to understand that.
Also, so like there's the Marble League rankings and then ranking. What is the difference?
So this is Marble League. These other ones, I guess, include Marbula 1 competitions if you participated.
The ranking, like the overall ranking, also includes Marbula 1 because I just don't see any mention of Marbula 1. So
no, it's just because Marble League is by itself. I Pinkies 14th. Oh yeah, they're 14th with Marble League, 18th I guess with everything, which makes sense. But I don't know where they were beforehand. I mean, apparently their average with Marble League is 13.5, and then just their regular average is 14.1. So I guess it's helped by taking their Marbula 1 away. But like, I would have thought they would have jumped up a few places considering they won this year. I guess they really just. I would imagine it's because they weren't very good before. They really tanked themselves, and the one really just kept them in the place they're at. I don't understand that really. I'd want to see pre-2022. You know what I mean? And if Richard might have sent us an email on that, but I want to see pre-2022 because then, like, I feel like Pinky's pre-2022, well, you'd probably see something like 24th. I don't know. Right now, the Gliding Glaciers are better than the Pinkies. That's what it's saying. Overall. Do you realize that? Like, the Gliding Glaciers are a better team than the Pinkies? Overall? I mean, I don't know.
That seems crazy.
That seems wrong. The Chocolatiers are a better team than the Pinkies overall? That's nonsense. I guess the Pinkies really just weren't good when they weren't good.
They really did suck for a while.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, you know. were clouded because of their recent performance. Thunderbolts are still see like when you're around for longer, you can stay higher in these overall standings longer. Look at teams like Thunderbolts, Hazers, Mom. I know Moma's still doing all right. Midnight Wisps, even like I guess Green Ducks or O-Rangers who have been lackluster of late. Like they're staying very high in the standings just because they've had a lot of pedigree and time to establish a more strong average. It's going to be hard to ever budge the numbers on like Team Galactic or Mellow Yellow down 3-4 spots because they're already have a lot of numbers averaging to make their current number. As opposed to like a team like Solar Flares, their number, I mean, they could get a few wins in a row and their number's going to shoot up to like a very low number just because they don't have a lot of events to kind of compare. Right? Think about it. If you get one first place and one last place, your average is 8th. Basically, right? But if you already have an average of 8th and you get like 3 last places, but you've had an average of 8th for the past 4 years, 3 last places is still barely going to budge that number when you have 4 to 6 years worth of events averaging to 8th. But Solar Flares, if you have an average of 8th from a loss and a win, basically first and last, and then you add another loss to it, you're dropping all the way down to about what would it be, 12, right? I mean, 12 average point finish. You know what I mean? So like it's really dependent on how much you've competed. I guess, does that make sense? Well, I don't know. It's the standings. Richard's standings are very complex.
Yeah, they're always very hard to follow, especially since like the Marble League ranking and then like the total ranking. So is that like a ranking including those other things like the maze race and the Christmas race? Or stuff like that. Like it's, and then there's like it seems also like part of it. I think on the right there, I think it's like average with the maze and Christmas race just cut off because it didn't make it all the way onto the page. I think that's what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but like they have a ranking that doesn't include maze and Christmas. I feel like Pinky. I don't know. I thought Pinky's would have been higher. Whatever. That's a cool email though. I always like getting these updated yearly standings. It really kind of puts perspective on. Like, I mean, it puts perspective in the right places. It really reminds us that the Savage Speeders are your best team in Marble League.
Right, yeah.
Let's not be confused by any of the recent events to think that the Savage Beaters are in any way on their way out. I mean, look at the ones. They're first if you add Marbula 1 to Marble League. They're first pre-ML 2021. They're first if you just have Marble League. There's first if you had everything together and you throw in the maze and the Christmas shit and the winter. It doesn't matter. They are first in every category. And by quite a margin. Marble League average 3.8. Second place 5. Average with, I guess, Marbula 1 thrown in. Right now, very close, though, to the O-Rangers. 4.4 to 4.6. Average with, I guess, Maze Christmas. 4.69 to 6.38 in second place. The Savage Speeders are still, by far, your best team. They were in the past 2 years ago. They still are now.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Speeders have been like it's the Speeders. Like we've said it forever. They're the best. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. I feel like everyone should at least.
It's a good reminder because sometimes I think sometimes we can look at the current Marble League and be like, oh my God, the shining
total
swarm
rankings
of the new
are
Speeders,
Marbula 1 and Marble League. Okay, like that's so confusing. Like Marbula 1 wasn't mentioned on the spreadsheet at all.
Which
so
is
like
funny.
that's.
But Richard, I actually really appreciate these rankings like this. I really, really appreciate this. It adds a great perspective to where we're currently at. Rangers, Savage Speeders, Green Ducks, Crazy Cat's Eyes, Raspberry Racers. Those are your top 5 teams, and you know they are. I want to keep eyes on Shining Swarm and Pinkies. But until I see them surpass this top 15, until I see teams start to pass balls of frickin' chaos who can't stay out of the bottom spot, I mean, careful. Though I will congratulate, once again, the Pinkies on their win this year.
Yes.
Let's talk about Fantasy Waff. Let's round it out. How did you finish this year?
Okay, so not terribly well. For me, I finished in 211th place.
My boys.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you feel, Waff, that I finished I finished just backwards your place. I finished 1-1-2, and you finished 2-1-1. Isn't that kind of funny?
That is kind of funny.
So here's the deal. I'm gonna. So I finished 1-1-2, and I have for this one. I'll judge it just based on the primary teams, not with the secondary teams, because they're not technically in that the competition ranking. So I finished 1-1-2 out of everyone's primary team, and there were 240 teams, which might finish barely top 50. So am I really happy about that? No. I always like to finish top 10% or at least top 20%, which would have been 24 or like big top 50 at least, and I did not. What could I have done? What could I have done? Did anyone go into this Marble League thinking, oh my God, you better put your money on the Shining Swarm and the Pinkies? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. I don't know. That was a hard one. If you add in the other teams, here we go.
Marble Gut, that's the most interesting one.
Marble guy. The gut picks. The gut picks. 36th.
Mm-hmm.
What? With Glaciers slightly better than without Glaciers, so that didn't really make a difference. But gut picks 36th. And this is like 36th out of, by the way, if you only do the secondary teams, if you take out the primary teams, Marble Gut finishes third. But of course, we have to leave the primary teams in. Wait, let me scroll down here. So 36th with all teams in. With all teams in, there's a total of 314. So, I mean, that's a really good finish. 36th. Yeah. And these were gut picks. This for me is just being like, okay, I'm not looking at past performance. I'm looking only at qualifiers. What happened in the qualifiers? Who has a minimum? Let's just pick from that. And I got 36. So there might be something to that. We might really... I don't know, man. Like, you know what? Like, what do you think? Next time, should I pick only from gut picks and leave them as a primary?
I think that just you lucked out this time around. I don't know if that'll go the same way.
I think what I'm gonna do is next Marble League, I'm gonna do same strat, and I'll put in my secondary pick. I will put a I'll do a Marble Gut again. We'll just see. And if it does better than my team again by a large margin, by my thought out, long thoughts and whatever team, then my analyzed whatever, I couldn't think of the words. I'm the team I analyzed a lot of data to come up with. Then we might start doing gut picks as our primary. And gut picks is not just random. It's just like I'm only looking at recent performance. I'm only looking at recent qualifiers, who I feel has the momentum, and I'm just going to do it from there. So we'll see. I'm interested though. Let's go out again. Let's go to custom. How did you finish in the custom?
Oh, and yeah, for the individuals. I did okay. Pull it up again. I got 85th.
That's pretty good. I got 31st. Out of 173. I guess that does put me in the top 20%, so not terrible.
Yeah.
31st, sorry. That's pretty good. I don't really know what I did. I think I was smart to pick rapidly. I don't know. It's hard to really tell you, like, analyze what would be best. I think... I don't know, Wuff. I don't know. What do you think the strat is here? Who won? I mean, you can't see what they picked for their winning team, though. It doesn't let you see these things.
Yeah, you click on the eye symbol to see what who's on your list. That's how you do it.
So they picked Speedy because I picked Speedy. I picked Pinky Rosa or Pinky Pit. I might have picked Pinky Pit there because remember she cost 30 points. Yeah. I did not pick any Shining Swarm members. This guy, okay, here's the thing. You know this guy had no thoughts of winning this because there's no way you pick 2 Shining Swarm members and think, oh yeah, this is predicted. I think that was probably accidental, but then he picked Mocha as well. And I picked Mocha too. I thought the Chocolatiers were going to do well. So that was where I lost some points. I could have been probably top 10 if I had picked something with someone besides Mocha. Or Chalk. I think I picked Chalk actually. But either way, Chocolatiers did not help. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know the strategy yet. I clicked the I.
Or you take the team name.
Cool. Wait, what did the first place have here?
Well, Pinky's obviously.
Team Galactic ×3. I mean, and see, that's the thing. I had Team Galactic ×3 in the gut picks. Raspberry Racers and Speeders, smart picks. Honestly, if I would never have picked Team Primary. But if I could have seen myself doing Team. What did I actually pick for? I need to go to the gut picks. Then
I don't remember what you picked.
This freaking website is so slow in the wrong places. It takes forever to toggle that on, and it makes me frustrated.
What can you say, Brendan? I don't know. Best combo anyone could have for individual would be Mallard, Captain, Pinky Panther, Pinky Rosa, Shimmer, and Quasar.
Oh, Mallard, great.
Wow.
Team Galactic. See, I went Team Galactic, Speeders, Bumblebees, Cat's Eyes, Mellow Yellow. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good gut pick team, and you see it did well. I would have rather have done this, but with Raspberry Racers in there. I never would have thought to pick the Pinkies. But gut picks, I almost did in the gut picks. I remember we talked about this, but I just never would have thought of it. I definitely not Shining Swarm. But even if I did pick Pinkies, I would have replaced like Bumblebees. So I could have probably done in the top 5 if I had done Pinkies instead of Bumblebees and then just threw Raspberry Racers instead of like Mellow Yellow. And that would have been pretty solid. So not far off the top 1 pick.
I see. Yeah, confirm. The individual score also pulled from team event results.
No, you have to do that. So Showdown. How did you end in the Showdown fantasy?
Showdown, it was a little bit. The number of people who signed up for this one was also lower, but
I had 32.
I did better. You did 132?
32.
I got 82.
82. Wow. You're struggling with the fantasy.
Yeah, Cobalts was my ×3.
That was a mistake. I told you that was a mistake. At the very most, if you think a team is a Showdown Savage Speeders, ×2 at the very most. I did ×2 for them, and that was a mistake too. But I also picked Hazers. Limers did well. Team Plasma destroyed it. That was a dark horse pick for the ages.
Yeah.
And Team Momo were good enough. So I ended up doing okay.
That was my ×2. That's why I did so good. Momo was my ×2.
Yeah, Momo.
That recovery, though. They did so bad in the first half, but then they absolutely destroyed it in the second one.
That's Momo. And I couldn't see Momo being bottom 4, so that made sense. I mean, especially now that we have 16 Showdown teams, Momo being bottom 4 there would be a big red flag. So good thing. I went, I even worse off. The Showdown Custom, I didn't even really pay attention to this, but I picked some random shit where it was me.
Yeah, I got 51st for this one.
I did not. This is probably the worst of my performances. Yeah, 102. I literally got 2 from the bottom. I love how the 104 is Firefox Marble Guy instead of just Marble Guy.
Yeah.
But Raindrops, he got 103. I remember him. Lucky Titan did crappy as well. I picked like Smoggy and Azure, so that's no points basically. So that was pretty crappy. But yeah, those are the fantasies. I'm proud of my Showdown finish. I'm happy with my Marble Gut finish. I don't know. I think that I really have to explore not looking too far back in data to pick teams, especially at this point where we're not talking about 2-3 years back. We're talking about now 7 to 8 years back, Waff. I think our strategy has to start adjusting, knowing that it's a long way back to some of the glory ages for these teams, many years now. And I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I feel like my strategy should adjust to focus way heavier on the recent 2-3 years, and even more so on what happened in qualifiers.
Yeah, like the scene is clearly changing. We got some older teams that have been doing so well are starting to improve. So
the only thing I'll caution on is don't completely block out the last 2-3 years. That's the only thing. For people listening who are like, okay, maybe we should swing the other way and only focus on literally the last few events in the qualifiers to pick. I think that could also be a little bit misguided as well, only because, I mean, there are teams I picked in my fantasy that did well, that did not blow me away in the qualifiers. If you pick teams this year only looking at qualifiers, who would you pick? You would have picked, you might have picked Pinky's Shining Swarm and Galactic, but you also probably would have picked Chocolatiers, which were a big flop. And I forget, there's a couple other teams like Bumblebees also did well in qualifiers and then sucked. But there's a couple other teams that also did well in the qualifiers. I believe Midnight Wisps did well in the qualifiers, who absolutely terrible performance this year. So I mean, you would have been skewed again, picking like 2-3 good teams, 2-3 bad teams. I think you still need to keep that consistent awareness of the past up. Savage Speeders. That was a great pick this year. 4th place finish. I told you they were going to put medals on the board, and they put medals on the board.
They sure did.
Thank you, Wuff. Okay? So, I mean, and Raspberry Racers, that was a good pick, too. They got 6th place. You can't get mad at that.
Yeah.
Though you may not have picked them if you just went off the qualifiers. So I'm saying awareness is good, but I think I got caught up too much in the past, and that's why I was like, oh, well, we have to go Cat's Eyes and Mellow Yellow again, don't we? And those were Bumblebees kind of sucked this year. Let's be real about it. Those were mistakes. Wuff?
I think they did better than I expected. I think we should move on from fantasy actually. And what should we start with? Should we start with Marble League or Showdown?
Let's go. Let's do Marble League. Have we talked about through Collision and everything? It was just the last event we didn't cover.
Oh, I covered Collision in the video.
Yeah, me too. Okay, yeah. So we reacted to that. So let's talk about Elimination Race then. I'll skip to it here.
Alrighty then.
As we kick off. And Wuff, we'll do the usual thing. We'll rate the event and everything, but I want to just hear your thoughts. Throw your thoughts out.
Elimination Race. I don't think they... Like, I think it's pretty much exactly the same as it used to be. Only thing they didn't is they didn't have the giant hexagons that could get launched at you, I think. So, like, they did actually kind of tone it back a bit on that in terms of obstacles in that regard, but for the most part, it's really the same. So it's the same good old classic Elimination Race. I would say, like, did we have more DNFs in this Elimination Race than we've ever had in all the other ones combined?
I don't know.
I feel like we did.
I feel like I always remember DNFs. By the way, there's 666 likes on the all events video. By the way, let me change that.
Like, maybe there have been more DNFs than I remember. I feel like this event had at least more in one than it's ever had before. Yeah, because like there's 3 of them in this race, so like it was kind of strange, I suppose. But like overall, it's Elimination Race. I think we've said it before. This is one of our all-time favorite events. I think it's my favorite event. And like it was exciting, like to see the progressing story of like things going like. So like it's a. Is it 10? Is it 10 out of 10 for me? It might be 10 out of 10 for me.
I think for me, in the position at which it was placed, it's 10 out of 10. I think any other position, it's 9 out of 10 because I like Elimination Race. I like the format. I'm not going nuts over the setup. I think the hexagons are nice. I think they could have done something a little different here. Like they could change it up a bit each year. But it's a wonderful event. I love the idea of eliminating one at a time. I'm glad they commit to the length of that. I'm glad because most people, I feel like most times when people think like of these kinds of things, they don't commit to that. They'll either like stop by like the top 6 and just do a race, or they'll like eliminate 2 at a time or whatever to try to speed it up. For some reason, they think they need to speed it up. But Gel was like, no, we're committing 1 at a time. And you know what? There's suspense in that. But I will tell you, there's way more suspense in that if you put it at the end of a Marble League.
Yeah.
And I said this, Kaysen, get the clip. If you hear this, you probably won't, but so the clip's not going to play. But there's a clip, and Super Yak pointed this out to me. There's a clip back at the beginning or in the middle of Marble League this year that I was like, wouldn't it be absolutely wonderful? Wouldn't it really, really close the door well on this Marble League if elimination race was the ending this time instead of like a few laps of Marble Cross? To really one by one eliminate marbles from the contention. And what happened? And I was really happy to see this, and it did absolutely what it was supposed to do. I was pulled into the very last race, basically, seeing Galactic battling out with the Pinkies. You know, Galactic had a chance all the way down to the third to last race to win? Until they went out. They actually went out at 5th, but they would have had the chance. They were, I want to look at, sorry, I actually wanted to go ahead here. So there was, I'm trying to see standings. My God. I don't want.
And that's why you should do the individual video at Brendan, not the all events episode video.
This is just in case I want to jump around. Stop, Wolf. So the Galactic points wise, I'm trying to get the actual points thing up. We're gonna find it. Here we go. Okay. No, this is not the. No, this is it. No, I want the points they get from the event. Oh my God, you're right.
That is.
No, this is just the finishing places.
Oh,
Brendan.
Oh my gosh, you're so picky, my guy.
No, this is what I want because I want to talk about this. Maybe we'll just play and switch in a second. I don't know. Whatever, Waff. Sorry to be so annoying. I'm the worst. I know
you're so bad. Like I get in past elimination races, they always did it to like the last 2, right? They never finished it with just the top the race of the last 3, right?
No, I don't think so. I'm glad they don't do that either.
I remember like years ago, like maybe it's like 1 or 2 years ago, you were complaining about how Sand Rally wasn't the finale race because it's like tradition. But now you seem to come around. It's like, you know what, elimination race is way better than Sand Rally. And
if elimination race is not the end, it better be Sand Rally or I'm upset. I don't like Marble Cross as the ending event. I like Marble Cross.
Yeah,
I like Marble Cross, but I don't like it as the ending event.
Richard does bring up a good point. Then like. The way it is, the winner of Marble League can be decided before the end of the event itself, which not only results in the, really just kind of results in like the event maybe feeling somewhat anticlimactic, I guess, to a certain degree, and I can understand a little bit of that, but like it's all about like how the marbles roll. Like you don't know how it's going to go.
I would argue though that even quicker with other events whether the winner is going to have a chance or not than with elimination race. Elimination race, you know what's up. You know exactly how it has to pull out. You know exactly when certain marbles have to fail or not for it to be possible. If you just did like 5-meter sprint or Sand Marble Rally, take a great example, or Marble Cross. If you're like, okay, this marble has a chance to win, but they need to get out to first place. Boom, starting gate, they're out. Oh, what happened? Oh, looks like the Hazers are in last place. No way they're going to come back 16 places to win. I know there's a little hope, but come on, let's be honest about it. So, we know that's not going to happen. You understand? Like, immediately it's not going to happen. And so at least with the elimination race, you could get 15th place in the first elimination race, and it's okay because you're still alive. Yeah, I can't see the points thing, but basically my point is by literally Galactic had to literally the third to last or the second to last race to still win Marble League. If the Pinkies had went out on the second to last race and got third place and Galactic won, then they would have tied, and I believe Galactic would have won on medals because they had more golds.
Yes, they would have.
So, I mean, literally, the suspense of that built from literally race 16. Savage Speeders were still in it. Pinky stayed in. Savage Speeders were out of it. All right, Shining Swarm was still in it. They slipped out just too early at the end, and then it built forward, and you see it, and it was getting down to less and less marbles, and the Pinkies are still hanging on. Galactic is still hanging on, and you're like, Galactic still has a chance here. They just need to keep on the track, and they almost did. They got DNF'd at like the last hexagon before the finish line. And I just went nuts at that point, to be honest. Absolutely nuts. So I'm just saying I think that it was a wonderful way to end. Sand Marble Rally, do I like how it ended? I'll never forget Greg's final line in 2019 where it's like, but it's not going to matter because the Raspberry Racers are your 2019 champions. I'll never forget that line. And that race, that end Sand Rally race was so fun.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
And I would say that if you can't do Elimination Race, end it with Sand Rally. But Elimination Race, for me, again, 10 out of 10 in the 16th event spot.
Hinkley, Richard said that 2019 it was top 3 finals in elimination race. So, and then 2021 is top 2. Okay, so they haven't always done it like down to the wire like they did, which I'm glad they made that change. That's more entertaining to me. I wonder if like it would get old if you did elimination race for every finale.
Well, I mean,
maybe
no, because it becomes a staple. Because like everybody likes the event, right? Like everybody likes the event. It's just that, like, you know what I mean? So it's going to always stay popular and wanting to be seen, and it's just the best spot for it. It'll become tradition. And it just always has a drawn-out suspense to it that's wonderful for a final event, especially since Gel's videos they're not long videos, you know? We're not talking about every event's like an hour ordeal. Some are even as short as 5-10 minutes. So, like, it really slows things down for the finals event, allows for anyone who's really excited to kind of prepare themselves and really figure out, okay, what places do marbles actually have to get to or not get to in order for specific outcomes to happen, instead of just like trying to keep that all together in your head while a whole race is going on. It's just one by one, and it's, I don't know, I think it creates the right suspense in the last event.
Yeah, I agree. It does give some nice suspense. I was kind of hoping, like Greg did give the vocal play-by-play, but I was kind of hoping for something they did like with the Marble Cross, where like they actually had like on the sidebar, like the pylon or whatever, like it was like lighting up like who was getting what medal positions as like the positions changed, you know?
That actually would have been very cool. Yeah.
But like, hey, the Green Ducks, they got their gold medal here. That was their first gold medal here. I think it's not their first gold ever. I know that much. It's not their first gold ever. But like, but still, like they're hosts. They did pretty good. Like, actually, did Greg mention the host curse at all this year? I don't think he did.
No, I don't think he did. And thank God. And then you can't even say
Lord.
it for this year. Can we be done with that? Can we be really done with it? Like really, like in the entirety of this world, can we be done with that? I mean, the Green Ducks got 5th place. I mean, my God. Are we still talking about that like it's real just so we can add more pretend drama to marble sports? I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's not real.
Yeah, I ask, would you approve of like a 5-event mini-series of just event elimination races? I feel like watching 5 elimination races would get boring, right? Like, I don't know if like elimination styled events, maybe like if there's like some variance to it.
Would you approve of a like 5 event? we are the ones who can or cannot approve. 5-event mini-series of just elimination races. 5-event mini-series. Okay, here's the deal, Yak. If I were to say, okay, if it were to be that there were to be a event series of elimination races. Let's just pretend that's happening. It's happening soon. I don't know. 5 to 10 events would be good. 5 to 8 events would be good for that. But I would say it would have to be like different. You can't just run 5 honeycomb elimination races. I mean, you gotta change it up. Sometimes it's gotta be like double elimination, but like 3 are eliminated at a time. Sometimes it's got to have some crazy obstacles. Sometimes it's got to be team based. You got it's you know how when you ever I remember if you ever did like field day in high school or middle school, and they would do like relays. They wouldn't just do the same relay over and over. They would do a bunch of different types of relays, like relay where you have to hold the frickin' egg on the spoon or whatever, a relay where you have to carry the bucket of water, a relay where you have to like leapfrog over each other and that nonsense. And I really hated those relay days, to be honest. I was more of like let's play a real sport or let's just do no shit. Sorry, but and that's just how I was. So I was like, can we just like do dodgeball or can we just go home? Like I don't want to do like carry the stuffed animal in my head as far as I can go. I just didn't want to, whatever. But like that's how it would have to be. They need to switch up styles, and like not just styles but tracks too. Again, you can't just switch up elimination styles and throw it on the honeycombs. You got to have different things.
Yeah.
A relay race down the sand. An elimination race down the sand. Elimination race down the Hubolino. As much as I hate the thought of it, it would just be a good variety within the thing. A little race down Marble Cross, water race. Just race different types of terrains and stuff to really make it interesting.
Yeah, that actually made me realize, like, the reason why, in MSPN's Marble Mayhem, like, the reason why the dropper is the final event is because it's basically their own version of elimination race, where the last marble to make it down to the bottom of the dropper gets eliminated. So they keep going. So, like, he would update the standings, like, okay, this is their points potential. So, like, this is who could still win it. And, like, events like that lead to some really exciting moments. So, honestly, you're right. Elimination-style events, I would say, are always good contenders for a last event to a season.
They're so good for the end. I'll say one more thing. I would love to see, this is something I'd love to see. I would love to see a long-form funnel endurance elimination. All 36 teams, one from each team, funnel endurance elimination. I'm just saying, just a long-form video. I don't even care. Gel can be like, this doesn't fit into anything, just here's the video. I would be totally fine with that. I would love to watch a long-form, like, with just the first marbles eliminated every time. And it takes like an hour. I don't even care. I would love that, because there's so much suspense in funnel endurance. I could not imagine the suspense of one marble going at a time. And then like marbles who had just lasted forever, and they're no, screw black hole. I hate black hole.
Well, there's actually an interesting way to set this up. Like, you could have like a multi-tiered massive funnel endurance course, and there's like midpoints. So kind of like how in Algadoo marble races, where a lot of them have like two marbles or one marble gets eliminated at each leg. That's basically what you can do there. Like, you have like a flip, like a switch where like a marble falls through. Okay, it goes out the exit track, and then the switch activates, and so it closes the hatch, and so the rest of the marbles keep going down the rest of the track.
I would like that, like kind of just split it up and stuff. I don't know, but like it would be fun, because the funnels add a lot of suspense. Imagine elimination, and like I don't know, like you'd always be the suspense of like just you don't want to be the first marble in. So that'd make every race so cool. But yeah, elimination race, great. But that brings us to our real final standings, our legitimate final standings, which I just think are the
craziest standings we've ever seen.
Look at these standings.
Like, okay, like Galactic. Makes sense. They've been finishing top 5 for a long time. So honestly, them finally moving up to top 3, that's foreseeable. That makes sense. Shining Storm in second, and Pinky's in first?
Pinkies. Team Primary in 8th, by the way. Also surprising to me. Look at the medal count.
It's 232.
Ridiculous. 7 events Pinky's medaled in. That's insane.
Yeah. Someone did correct me, I think, from a previous episode that's the record for most medals was the Raspberry Racers, and I think, like, what was it, 10?
They got 10
or was
medals.
8?
Holy God.
It was something like that. Like, the Raspberry Racers had won it by a much wider margin. So it's like the Pinkies didn't have really a chance to dethrone them in that, but still, like, it was impressive.
Let's look at these teams. Let's just kind of run through them here.
8 medals for Razzies. Okay, so they were close.
We'll start.
Okay, never mind.
We may push Showdown off to a different episode, because there's not really much to say. I'm happy for the Limers, whatever. Let's just end kind of like establishing these teams a little bit, just understanding them. Bulls like Chaos, I just am disappointed with them. Come on. 1 medal. They started strong. You thought they were getting somewhere, but like, just so many zeros. I'm sad for them. Midnight Wisps, they're just falling off. They're a true example of a team that used to be good and falling off. Savage Speeders, they used to be close to Savage Speeders level, and now they're just not. They need a new set. They need a younger set of marbles. They need to like send their marbles into retirement to teach other Midnight Wisp marbles how to play. Chocolatiers, unfortunately, nothing new for the Chocolatiers. I expected more because of their the previous year performance. I thought they were on the upswing, but back to the same stuff. They at least pulled themselves into the triple digits, so they're more part of the top 14 than they are the bottom 3, but just not not what you'd want to see. Mellow Yellow, Waff was right. They have one good season. They have one bad season, so I guess they're due for a good one next year. Mini Maniacs.
Don't give me too much credit. I wasn't the one who recognized that pattern. That's not, but like, it's the pattern. They proved it. That's you want to know a curse? There's your curse right there. There's your Mellow Yellow curse.
Greg won't mention that. It's too analytical.
And it actually has evidence behind it.
I wonder why that is. But Mini Maniacs, easy team to gloss over. Crazy Cat's Eyes, I'm a little disappointed in. I would have expected more of a top 7-8 finish, and that's where they were on track for most of the time. But they kind of struggled in the middle and the end, and they started strong. They had a 4th place, they had a medal, then another medal, and then a bunch of good finishes, and they were doing well, but they kind of fell off towards the end and couldn't keep it up. Glaciers, a great dark horse team that I think has incredible potential. Keep your eye on them. I could see them being a top 5 team in 2 or 3 years. Bumblebees, very surprising. I feel like they surprised themselves. Yeah. I feel like they got out there like, oh shit, we're doing good. Shit. And then they're like, oh wait, we can't. I mean, that's what their numbers look like. Oh shit, we're doing good. Okay, 0.99265. Okay. But they not bad. Team Primary, same thing. I think they fought hard and they did well, but they're just not. They don't have the breadth. They don't have the breadth for Marble League because they can do well at a couple events. They did well in Collision. They did well in Sand Rally, but they just don't have the breadth to handle all the things that are thrown at them.
Yeah, I want to say I really want to highlight Team Primary because this is their first Marble League, if I'm not mistaken, since 2016. If I'm not mistaken. They've failed to qualify every single time up until this point. And finally, not only did they come back, they made top half.
Which granted, which is great. But look at
2017.
Look at what we have here points wise. I mean, look at these. We have 20, 25, 20, 12, 12. Great. But then look what we have 1, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. I mean, look at the high numbers and then these low numbers. I mean, it's just a lack of breadth. It's just a lack of experience that covers all the possibilities that will get thrown at you in Marble League. And you just see that. You see this incredible spike of potential with these couple of medals, and then you just see a lack. So they have to work on that.
The best performances were always from Arup and Aymar, which people, a lot of the primary fans, I think these people of the community are like, man, those are like 2 good members of the team, aren't they? And so
Prim and Mary always get, they need help.
They need help. They do.
What about Rima? Is Rima a reserve or something?
Rima is I think Rima is reserve. I think
Arup might be reserve. I don't know.
Oh no, Arup is reserve. You're right. That's why they weren't used as much because they could only be used
Remember how Rima did in Water Race? Got silver there.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, I sang their praises. I mean, they did well.
Yeah.
And they have that skill. And we talked about how they really played that well for the most part. I mean, just our Rangers are good. It's just that they don't have the breadth. When they get hit with a climbing, shit. When they get hit with other events that they're just not prepared for, like funnels and stuff, just, it's funnels. They got 2 points. I mean, they don't have the experience yet, but there's potential. The Rangers, again, it's kind of what you expected from them. 7th place. I didn't think they were going to get top 5. I said that. And I don't think they're going to get bottom 5. So they're kind of where you thought they'd be. Raspberry Racers, it's like they have the potential and they had the skill this year to finish in the top 5 in the podium. They had it. They muffed a few events. They muffed climbing. They muffed the beginning. They muffed out the gate. They didn't do as well in relay and stuff hurdles that as they needed to. They just struggled there. And they had great events. They had 4 medals. They had a gold. They did well in a bunch of events. They rode on their 4 medals, but couldn't add anything else to the pile. They needed some more 4th place finishes, really, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah, it's Rangers they're not necessarily the best of the best all the time, but they're good enough to where I think you'll consistently see them in the top half, minus 2021 where everyone was so close. I believe that's the only time actually I think that Rangers have been in the bottom half, just like the Savage Speeders.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Someone came in. Apparently, people are coming over my house, so I have to just be aware of that. Whatever. Here's the thing about the Raspberry Racers. I think that they have absolute potential to win another Marble League soon. I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they absolutely
do.
I don't know what that means. I don't know when that would be. Who knows? I think I really just got to be careful about and look at their qualifying performances.
They need to not be put in Marbula 1 so they can spend more time practicing for Marble League because they do not do good at Marbula 1. No.
But yeah, I think they could win. Green Ducks is kind of the same thing. And these are two great teams to talk about together. Green Ducks, same idea, 5 medals, and then just a lot. And again, obviously not lackluster when you compare them to the bottom half. I'm talking about for a top 6 team, lackluster performances outside of their medals. I mean, they had real zeros on the board here. Raspberry Racers at least avoided the zeros. The Green Ducks just had a couple more, high-end performances to their name to boost their medal count. They had an extra silver, so that covered the zeros. Because Raspberry Racers, they did a 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. They had all that in there. And then Green Ducks are like, oh, we'll take some zeros, but we'll throw an extra silver in there to get a few extra points. So they did fine. But they again, I feel like there's potential for them to win a Marble League in the next 2-3 years. I really do. I just think it's, again, breadth. They have to expand their experience. They can't pick up a 0 in climbing, especially when they put that event out there. They didn't have to bleed with that event, but they chose to do that. They can't pick up a 0. What was that 5th event? Oh man, they picked up a 0 in relay. I mean, that you just can't do that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you just can't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Sprint, they picked up a 6. I mean, that just can't happen when you're supposed to be a faster team. I mean, the Raspberry Racers are picking up a silver on that. You got to be in the top 5 in that, and so they're missing some of that breadth that's important, and they have silvers and golds and other events that are challenging. So they just need to up their speed. They need to keep their consistency or pick the right marble for the right event. Really, I could see them winning. They're not far from the top 1 here. Savage Speeders. Yeah. You're looking at basically the same idea. But they're kind of more, you kind of look at them from the opposite perspective where that they are first place material and they've proved that more than any other team. It's just that you can't always win. And they're always shuffling, they're always practicing, they're always trying out different things. And they just still did so well. I mean, look at this points haul. 4 medals. I mean, and then a lot of their other events, 11, 11, 11, 10, 12, 9. I know they had a few bad ones, but they really don't have many bad ones. They don't, and by bad ones, I mean points under 9 or points under 8. And they don't have that. A few. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, really, or 5. I mean, most teams usually have between 6 and 9 bad events, even if they get a lot of medals. So it's look at Team Galactic. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events that we would consider as bad if you go under 8 points. 7 events for Team Galactic that you would consider bad. With Speeders consistently still only with 5. Okay, and that's a big difference. It's just that they didn't pull the medals. They didn't pull the medals where they needed to. 3 11s. I mean, that's going to put you in a place where you're getting close.
Oh yeah.
Often, but you're just not there. So the Pinkies were too overpowering. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I don't remember my podium prediction for the ending. Do you? Because I know it's a primary. Our Pinkies would get first. I can't remember if I said. I can't remember who I said would get the silver and the bronze.
I didn't predict that podium. I remember I said I thought Team Galactic was going to win. I thought the Speeders were going to be on the podium too. And I forget who else I thought there. I guess I also wanted the Raspberry Racers to be, but I forget. But
I might have said Speeders were going to be third, and then I might have said Galactic was going to be second.
Yeah.
That sounds like me. That sounds like something I would say.
Yeah. Speeders, I think 4th place is satisfactory for them. Galactic, again, you're looking at 4 gold medals. To me, the winner is Galactic. 4 gold medals is very impressive. You just can't pick up zeros. 0 in water race. I mean, I don't like that. 0 in what was event 11. I think this will be interesting. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Galactic did get 5 medals, so maybe they can only do well if they get 5 of something.
0 in Swing Wave, but who gives a shit about Swing Wave? Pinky's got silver in Swing Wave, and then Shining Swarm won that. I mean, come on. I hate Swing Wave. Yeah, I don't know. Galactic to me just killed it. I mean, 4 golds is just not likely. I mean, Pinky's didn't even get close to 4 golds. I mean, well, truthfully. So, I mean, do I think they can win? Yes. I think that I feel like the winner of next year's Marble League is Galactic, Ducks, or Racers.
Huh.
That's my guess. I mean, Shining Swarm,
That's
maybe. I don't think the Pinkies are going to win again.
Someone keep track of that.
Galactic, Ducks, or Racers seems like your most likely winners. I don't think you're going to see Cat's Eyes or Mellow Yellow around for a little while again. I feel like Speeders are just another top 5. I feel like Pinkies are going to finish in the top half, and you're going to realize, oh, they're not that consistent, but they're still good. And I feel like the Shining Swarm are just going to immediately drop out. Like, I just don't feel them. I know they got 3 golds, though, so it's hard to say that. But it's like, again, I mean, look, let's go back to the bad, okay? How many bad performances do they have based on my rules? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know? So if you take Swing Wave out, which they had to get their gold in, right? If you take what was it, 14? I mean, I have 14 Sand Rally, so I'll always be there. But Shining Swarm is not going to always win Sand Rally. And Sand Rally is a hard bellwether because you don't always win Sand Rally. Most teams don't, like, rarely win Sand Rally, like, even 1 every 4 times. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So Sand Rally is not consistent. Swing Wave is not going to be there every time. I hope it's not going to be there every time. So, I mean, they're not, I don't know. I don't feel Shining Swarm as much as I feel like Team Galactic, who climbing, I feel like, is going to reoccur. I mean, they placed a gold again consistently in that second event, which was, balancing is always going to be there. I mean, events 9 and 10, I believe those were more speed-based events too. 4, 5, 6. Oh, I mean, no, but it was block pushing and triathlon. So, yeah, triathlon is a good event to be able to consistently place well in. Block pushing, I mean, that's always going to be there. So, I mean, they're more consistent in what they're good at than Shining Swarm, in my opinion. I see Shining Swarm finishing between 11th and 7th next year. Pinkies, I feel, again, I don't think they're going to win next year. That's all the teams, though. What do you think, Wow?
Yeah.
Any final remarks? Bumblebees are hosts.
Bumblebees are hosts, and I think that's gonna be a fun one. There's a lot opportunity for very good theming there. I'm looking forward to that one.
No, you know what? The Bumblebees is gonna be the return of the host curse, because you know what? They're gonna suck next year.
No.
They're gonna
Shush,
they're gonna
Brendan.
suck
You're
next year.
see, now you're adding to the problem.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that this is what the community does. I don't believe in that. I'm saying that's what's going to happen. They're going to get like 15th next year, and everyone's going to be like, oh, here comes the host curse. Greg's going to talk about it every single damn event, and just because one time. And we're going to forget about the Green Ducks and how wonderful they did this year. Because honestly, if you finish in the top 5 in Marble League, you got to be happy about it.
Yeah. True.
So, I mean, I don't know.
We'll see. Like, overall, how do you rate this Marble League overall?
My God, this was a good Marble League. This was a very interesting Marble League. I would say for me, this has got to be like a 9 out of 10. This was a good Marble League.
I can't remember what I rated last year's, but I know last year's was my favorite.
I loved last year's.
I would say this maybe this one's like a 7 out of 10. I don't think I was into it, but also like these past few months have not been my favorite months of my life. So honestly, that might have probably soured my experience.
Comes that way. I hope you're doing okay, there, Waff.
I'm doing better. But like overall, it was a good Marble League. I would say it's a good one. It was a good Marble League. Like, and it's one that's gonna be remembered. Like, we're not gonna forget the day that the Pinkies won. That's for sure.
I mean, yeah, and that's it's again just so unexpected. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so not. Like, what even happened? The Pinky. Look at the scoreboard. This is what we're dealing with, Pinkies and Shining Swarm. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I want to address one more question. I know we're running long here, but listen to this. Hear this, please, quickly. And I want emails on this. If you're here right now, try to give a thought on this and send an email for next time. Here's the deal. At the beginning, at the end of Marbula 1 this year, in 2022, Marbula 1 Season 3, we were having a pointed discussion on whether Marble League, Marble Sports was shifting in a way where we were shifting to new teams being the focus, or whether we were shifting toward, or were veteran teams that were going to be like reinstating the fact that they're here to stay. The new teams were just good for a moment or whatever, you know? So where are we shifting? And I found it an interesting question because I was like, I felt like this Marble League was going to be the telltale of that. And now looking at the standings, I'm just not sure.
It's a mix of those two things all together.
Right.
Like you have especially if you look at what's going on in Showdown, which is not a big indicator of things, but it is interesting like how either new teams or like really old teams who retired and came back are doing a lot better. Or like in Marble League here, where like these teams who are used to not be good like at all are now suddenly doing really well.
Yeah, and so I'm wondering, and I'm thinking, and remember the two spectrum end thoughts on this matter is either number one that the veteran teams are none of them are failing to impress still, and they're all around to stay. They're all going to be what they're always been. Or the other spectrum end is that veteran teams are all stepping aside to make way for new teams or teams that maybe not necessarily be new, but haven't been good teams and are now all good for some reason. And it's so hard to find. I think we're more towards that end of the spectrum than the other one because we have more veteran teams completely dropping out. Let's omit Savage Speeders. Let's omit them because they're not even anything. They're whatever. They're a number to themselves, a team to themselves, because they're just what they are. Omit Savage Speeders. I mean, Pinkies, unexpected. Shining Swarm, unexpected. Galactic, yes, they're always been good, though usually towards the lower end of good when you talk about the more notable veteran teams. Green Ducks and Raspberry Racers, I mean, they're newer teams, technically. 2019, they came onto the scene. Oh, 2017 for Racers, though, actually. So, I mean, Green Ducks are more of a newer team, I guess. Racers might be an older team. A Ranger's still around, but Primary and Bumblebees and Glaciers all finishing above Cat's Eyes, Mellow Yellow, Midnight Wisps, Balls of Chaos. I mean, like, and then Hazer's not even anywhere to be found. Thunderbolts, they might as well not exist anymore. I mean, yeah, so...
Balls of Chaos, if I'm mistaken, got the lowest score in Marble League history, too.
My God. I mean, look at all these...
So bad.
I love how they had, like, less zeros than, like, the Green Ducks.
That's why consistency is key.
That's funny. So I don't know. I think we're if you have the spectrum, again, only veteran teams to only new teams, like left to right, and then the middle is just nothing or everything's mixed or whatever. I think we're probably more towards new teams taking over here, depending on what you consider a new team or a not so good team. I just feel like the Savage Beaters and even the O-Rangers are just going to hang on for a while. But the Midnight Wisps might as well not even be a matter of discussion, you know? And no one really knows what's going on with Mellow Yellow. I mean, I don't know what it is, you know? And the Cat's Eyes just can't seem to create a consistent foothold. And I mean, and we're talking teams that we're supposed to be looking at as some of the best. And they just can't. But the Savage Speeders and O-Rangers are the only ones who consistently grasp top 8 finishes in Marble League. So... I don't know, man. This might be the age of the Swarm. This might be the age of the Pink. The age of the Primary. See. I don't know.
We shall see. I think we should move on to Showdown now before we run out of time.
We should probably just end the show because we are way out of time.
Yeah.
It's 1 hour, 22 minutes, man.
It kind of is.
I think we should put Showdown to next week because, like, I don't think there's going to be anything for a little bit anyway.
Okay, true. Yeah, we can save Showdown for next week.
It's not like Showdown's going to be... I mean, like, next Marble League's not for a long time, you know, so...
And then you can watch the Christmas race, so we can talk about that, too.
Yeah, and then we have soon to come a Santa Marble Rally, so we'll get our fantasies going on that and talk about what we think about that. We'll have to pull out some stats and look it over again because it's been a while. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. I mean, there's so much going on. I don't know where Marble League's going, but I'm really excited. Congratulations to the Pinkies. I love Team Galactic. I want them to win soon. Speeders, I respect them, man. They're wonderful. All that being said, take us out for the day, Waff.
Alrighty then. Roll on, Marble sports fans.